Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. It's TLC Tuesday. I'm here with Kimberly. Kimberly, every time I see you, there's more and more things behind you. Just week by week, you're adding things to your little office space there.
I know. Well, it has to be cluttered like my personality. So
Oh, okay. Um, okay, so I see you have a pride flag. I see
that's a
your
diamond painting, actually.
really
Yes, it says everyone is welcome here.
nice.
And then I have a Keith Morrison prayer candle because
Okay.
we recorded yesterday for our Dateline episode and it was a Keith. And I
Okay.
have all of their candles now. Katie gave them to me back. She had them for a long time. Now I can switch out. We just don't have a Blaine one. I'm going to have to make a Blaine one. She's our new host.
Are you calling Blaine's fans the Blainiacs?
We are the Blainiacs, but we haven't decided what her nickname is. There have been
Right.
so many suggestions, like over
Okay.
100 suggestions, no joke. So I'm going to
Really?
do a poll or something. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Some of them
I
are just bad. I hate to say it. Like, I think our listeners are amazing and so funny. And some of them are just like, that's what.
I saw some that were pretty bad, so I was wondering if you had narrowed it down. That's why I was asking if you narrowed it down to some that were good, because all the ones I saw were terrible.
Do you think I should filter the poll? Like, take out.
Oh,
Okay. Just let the people decide and put
well,
in the bad ones.
I think if you have a poll going and you've got like 5 front runners and then like
Yeah.
15 that have 1 or 0 votes, then yes, take
Right.
those off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then tell people to revote,
Mhm.
just like a real election.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about 90 Day. But what I really want to let everybody know is that next week will be the new schedule. Monday will be Kimberly and I will be on Mondays talking about 90 Day Fiance, because on Tuesdays you're going to get Keisha and I talking about the virgins. We can't
Wow.
do the virgins on Monday because it comes on Monday night. So your episode will come out Tuesday morning for the virgins. And we
Okay.
will already have 90 Day Fiance because it comes out Sunday and our episode will come out Monday. So that's what
Mhm.
is going to be happening starting next week. You can follow all this information on Instagram, Pink Shade Pod, or you can click the link in your show notes and subscribe to our newsletter. We don't spam you. We don't send you anything. We literally just send you the newsletter that tells you what is going on
It's
every
a good
week.
newsletter. It's
It's
straight to the
brief,
point.
straight to the
Yeah.
point. No.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you don't know, or if you just have a question and you're confused, then please DM me. I've gotten so many DMs about my episode that I put out on Monday with Keisha, which was about the Sherry Papini documentary. So Keisha and I covered all 4 parts in one episode. The Sherry Papini documentary could have been 2 parts. It was 4. Um, so many people have reached out to
That
tell
bitch
me
is whack.
Swack. So people reached out to let me know that Amy Archer, had done a recap. She did one last week or so, and they're like, "Oh, she had this inside information about this guy that Sherry was dating," and I was like, "I knew all that as well." But I didn't talk about it because my understanding was she and that guy had broken up, but maybe not. And maybe he killed his wife after he started hanging out with Sherry. It's all alleged. We don't know.
Mm.
But you guys, on Friday, when I talk to Amy of Little Miss Recap, I will get her to tell me what she knows, and then we will compare our Sherry Papini notes.
Yeah.
It's funny when I sat down with Keisha to do it. So I had watched the Hulu doc a while back, right? But I hadn't watched it recently. So I didn't listen to any recaps or anybody's opinions. I wanted to just go in with my own thoughts. When I started watching it, I was like, wow, that everybody had it all wrong. This guy really did this to her. Like, wow. Man, oh man, by the time I got to that 4th episode and her parents, her
Uh,
therapist, and her sister-in-law were all like, yeah, I mean, she definitely went with that guy willingly. But 3 people of the whole base that literally counteracting everything they said. They're like, yeah, like she definitely wasn't kidnapped. Now, what happened after that, we don't know, but she definitely got in the car with him. She was not kidnapped. So, yeah. So then after that, I was like, you know what? Now I'm changing my mind. I do think she was the mastermind of the whole thing.
it's
And
very much like that with the chiropractor that was murdered. and we did several episodes on it, and people are so freaking divided, and they're just going based on her demeanor, kind of. Like, do I buy her or do I not buy her?
That was that young girl that and the guy he
Yeah.
was and the wife was killed by poison, right? The chiropractor, the
Yes.
doctor, yes.
Uh-huh. Mary Yoder was the
Mary Yoder,
chiropractor's
I
name.
still don't know
Yeah.
who did I still feel like the son did it.
I still feel like the son is involved for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
a bag of wieners for sure.
Yeah, he is. Bag of wieners, you guys. I told somebody that the other day. I think it was Keisha. I said, "That's what Kimberly calls somebody instead of calling him a dick. She calls him a bag of wieners."
So, or now it's just bow. He's a
Ba
bow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a bow. Listen, you're creating your own vernacular there at Date with
Mhm.
Dateline. I love it. I don't think I watched Dateline this weekend at all. I wonder what I went out this weekend twice. What?
Good for you, girl.
That's it.
Party hard.
I'm done for the year. Yeah, I went to a party. I danced my face off at this party, and boy, did I pay for it the next day. My feet hurt, my back hurts, my legs were killing me.
Yeah,
So
we're old.
new schedule, who dis next week. If you have questions, just DM me, but also just check the Instagram, check the newsletter, check your face, check yourself. I'm just using Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta
I
lines.
gotta get into that show. I think that would be the one that I would really enjoy.
You would really enjoy it. You start with like season 1, episode 1. You'll be like, oh my God. And then the
Yeah.
the progression of Nene is just she's a star. But
Wow.
let's talk about 90 Day Fiance. We got 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 16, guys. We're getting close to the end. This is called Love on the Line. Now, this episode was heavy on the Kimberly, which was good for me, but it was heavy on the Greg and Joan. And I got to tell you, I was in my feels about Greg and Joan.
Yeah.
I really was, but we're not starting with them. I don't know why I'm mentioning them. Let's
Okay.
start.
I
We're
know
going
I
to
was
start.
very confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I just was like noting, like, wow,
Yeah.
I really believe in their love.
I do. I
Yeah.
100% believe
Yeah.
in their love. Yeah.
Let's just start with Mark and Mina, please and thank you.
Okay. So I semi believe in their love.
Mm,
I believe in their love 70%. She is
okay.
okay 70%. So her sister is there. They're bitching about American food. She misses the baguette that she could get in France. And I was like, the French baguette? Dan? You know,
Done.
Dan?
French baguettes.
So she keeps checking her phone because they're getting married in 2 days. So today is like the last day for Clayton's paperwork to come in. This is up to the minute.
I know.
So
It's
he can
upsetting.
hop on a plane and make it there for the wedding. And so Mark and Mina leave Maria on the kitchen counter with the
Mhm.
sister. Did you
Noticed
notice
that.
that?
Yeah, I did.
I
I was concerned.
I'm
I
not a
was
parent, so I don't notice a lot of baby stuff, but I was like, seems
yeah.
bad.
Somebody get hands on that baby. The baby's on the
Yeah.
counter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're gonna go look at the wedding venue because apparently he has planned the entire thing without her seeing any of it.
Yeah, why didn't she go, like, last week or the week before or the week she got there? Like, wow.
Was she really okay with just hand off? That doesn't seem like her. But
No.
okay. So he promises her it's on the water and it's like Lake Como. And I keep wanting to say Cuomo. Um,
Right.
and that's wrong.
No.
So it's if they pull up and it's very pretty and she actually loves it and she says it's like Lake Como. She feels like George Clooney on a yacht. She thinks it's beautiful. It
It's
is.
pretty.
It's very
Yeah.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
the venue looks very pretty. So and there are already like chairs set up. So she loves it. Wow. Phew. That was could have been a disaster.
Yeah.
So they need to give Carolyn, the lady from the venue, the final head count, but they don't know if Clayton will be there. So then they start to go over the final billing and paperwork. I couldn't get a good visual on how much the total was going to be
Mm-mm.
because it was all separated from like food and open bar. And Mina gets a call. It's her friend Nancy. And Nancy says, I'm sorry. I have bad news.
Yeah.
Clayton can't come.
Mm.
I haven't told him yet. He's already packed all of his stuff, which just made me so sad to
Me
picture this
too.
little kid with his suitcase all packed,
Yeah.
like his
Yeah.
shoes on. He's ready to go.
like he's going to see his
Uh,
mom. I mean, that's
and his
rough.
baby sister. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
rough.
sad.
It's rough.
So, Mina is trying to hold it together, but then she just starts with those silent liquid tears that are so like thin. They're not thick. She's just very hydrated, I think. And it's like Visine, like it's just very thin. I don't
Yes.
know how to describe it. It's
Yeah,
like water.
yeah.
So, she's crying and poor Mark and poor Carolyn, the awkward venue lady, is just sitting there waiting for the phone call. She doesn't speak French. She doesn't know what's happening. And then Mina comes in crying, and Carolyn hops up and grabs a box of tissues. She's like on it. She's
Yeah.
dealt with emotions before
Yeah.
with brides.
Yes.
And she tries to give Mina a tissue, and Mark is like, "What happened? Oh no, you're crying." And she just says, "I can't get married." And then she walks off.
Yeah, the Carolyn getting up, I was like, it was to me, it was perfect comedic timing. Or I thought she was gonna get up and just leave the room.
Leave. I thought she
Yes.
was gonna leave and just
Yeah,
mumble, like,
yeah.
"I'm gonna give you some privacy,"
I'm just gonna
like
go out of this
that,
room.
and
I'll be in
just
the hall. Mhm,
yeah,
yeah.
probably, and then leave. Like, she's probably used to being, like, there when she needs to be and then invisible when she doesn't need to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. That was heartbreaking. Now I do think they'll go ahead and get married because like he said, if you
Yes.
go back, we have to start it completely over.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna get married. Yeah.
They're definitely gonna get married, and I don't know if Clayton's currently here. I mean, I haven't seen any spoilers on
Yeah, I
that.
don't know about I don't follow on social media.
Mm. Well, let's move it on then to Shekinah and Sarper, and you have seen the Bad Boys of 90 Day with the addition of Sarper. You've seen this, right?
No, Sarper has joined the Bad Boys group.
Just for the one, you know how they just have somebody come in for the one. Uh,
Yeah, well, sometimes
Kimberly,
Kimberly is there.
yeah. Would you like to get eyes on it right now? Because I
No.
think that it might ruin your whole day.
Yeah, no, okay, then no.
He can't dance. He cannot dance. And so
But
they really have
he was a
moods.
stripper
It
in
doesn't
a
matter.
construction worker outfit, and it was
He can't
horrible.
dance. He cannot dance, and he is clunking around in, like,
They
Herman
can't really
Munster-looking
dance either.
shoes, and he can't. Rob can dance. Jamal
Do you
can
remember
kinda dance.
Rob's dance at the airport when he was picking up Sophie?
Yeah, well, he didn't dance good then,
And it was
but yeah.
choreographed, but it was just basically sidestepping.
Yeah, and also we never heard the music, and we think it was a
Yeah,
full routine that we never saw.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
but Rob, can lip sync, and he can kind of dance. The rest of them can lip sync.
Yeah,
Not only can Sarper not dance, he can't lip sync, and Shekinah gave him some sort of half-price Botox special because his eyes are so round and up to his forehead. He looks like Ramona Singer in that famous, catwalk where she's like that when she's looking around, and he's in the thing lip syncing wrong. It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. Sarper, this is not go back to joke telling, okay? So
but is that
or
what we get when if we take his comedy class with the working out?
I've texted Kristen again. Now, Kristen, you met at the Monkey Meetup, and she does
Yeah,
the social media and stuff. She lives in LA. She said, "Oh, Jake and Matt and I are going to go to it." I said, "I don't want Jake and Matt to go. I just want you to go as a woman. I want you to go. I want a woman's opinion of what he's trying to do there. Jake and
yeah,
Matt, that'll be a whole different experience."
yes.
So she was like, "I think you're right. I might have to just
You're
go by
gonna enjoy
myself."
it.
Yeah, yeah. So, they wake up in the bed and he says he has a big hangover, but not because of drinks, but because of all the intensity. And she says, "Well, I have to think about protecting my assets for Sophie because, like, what if you cheat on me one day? It could happen." And he goes, "It's very rude in my culture to talk about a prenup." And she goes, "Okay, well, you're not in Turkey anymore. You're in the United States now." And he says, "Well, but I am Turkish." And he says,
Yeah.
"So," which is they both make valid points. And he
Also,
says,
it's not that it's more common in the United States, but some people do still think it's rude.
"Oh, yeah. Yes. Look
It's
at,
not like it
Shawn and Aaliyah. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like everyone loves it doing it here,
Hardly anybody loves it,
but
especially if you're gonna
sometimes
be on
people
the wrong end of it, you know?"
y
And so he says, "It's very rude." And he goes, "How will I explain this to my family?" And she's like, "I don't give a fuck." So she goes, "I have to get ready and go get in the shower." And he goes, always escape. So she goes to get in the shower and is talking to Eddie, says, I never thought Shekinah would say a prenup is a good idea. I never thought she would agree with that. And I was devastated. And I worry she does not see me as I see her. And the talking head, she goes, I don't know. He's taking it personally. And I just need to do it because one day he could cheat on me. He could.
But
So,
you never even thought about it before your friends
no.
it up last night.
Right. And now it's like 2 days from the wedding. So,
Yeah.
and then he says, in Turkey, when you're married, you don't do this. You don't think of divorce. Everything that is mine is yours. Everything that is yours is mine. And that's the way it goes. So he goes outside and he calls his parents and his sister cousin, Fusel. And all I could do was look at the mom's lips because remember, she kind of told us
Oh,
last week
yeah.
the mom got lip filler. So I'm like,
Yeah.
and they did look a little duckish on the top.
Oh, God.
So he tells them, I'm in a bad mood. We went to dinner with friends last night. They suggested this prenup, which is like a marriage contract. It's only days before the marriage. And they're like, oh my gosh, she must just assume you're going to get divorced. She doesn't trust you. So then he tells them about his great idea about, oh, you're going to do a contract with me. I'll do a contract with you. Here are my terms. You must stay at 128 or you get fined. And they said, that's a great idea. What great motivation. I'm so amazed by your creativity.
This is a man who has been babied his whole life. Everything he does is perfection from these three people who have enabled him.
Why can't they just go, okay, we get it. It was a joke, but
Right.
maybe that wasn't funny or whatever.
But they're fully on board. You're a genius.
So smart.
You're so smart and creative. We got to tell everyone to do this new plan. They'll call it the Sarper.
The Sarper clause,
The
like the
Sarper
Bethany clause.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the dad says, are you sure you thought through this marriage? I mean, they all love Shekinah. So I don't know why they're acting like this now.
Yeah.
And Fusel says, we're concerned for you, Sarper. If things don't work out, maybe you'll isolate yourself again like you did after your first marriage. And he says, oh, I understand. Oh, poor me. And he says, when he was married, when he was younger, he said
Which I always forget about.
Me too. I thought she was an angel. I thought she would be a good mother to my children. But when we got married, she didn't want me to see my family anymore. And she changed totally. And I don't want to repeat that mistake. Now, when we see, I'm calling Dr. Bunky Lindsay, who studies hair for her job.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when we see his earlier picture with the other woman, he's turned to the side and you can see all his hair in the front is super thin. Because Lindsay has pointed out that what he has on the front is like a clip-on hairpiece that's very common in Turkey. And that's in the front and it clips on like that.
I always wondered.
Yeah. So Lindsay,
Also,
can
the
you
color seems to change sometimes. Like
sometimes
it's very,
gray,
sometimes it's dark brown, like black almost, and then it has frosted gray tips.
Yes. It's strange.
And then sometimes it looks fully Lego man.
Yeah, it does. Lindsay, weigh in and explain to us how this works. I think she sent me a video one time, but I've definitely lost it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So we get this very dramatic next scene, which is Sarper is missing. Oh my gosh, everybody's running around. He's out there looking for Muhammad wasn't that his name? No.
Yeah.
Mahmoud.
Mahmoud. Yeah.
Mahmoud. He's out there looking for Mahmoud, who's still walking around in a leather jacket, dragging his suitcase. And
that'd be so funny if they just walked into each other. Hi.
Looking for you for a year. So she's packing all by herself for this wedding. She goes, I mean, I knew I'd be packing by myself, but I didn't think it would be like this. No, I have no idea where he is. He's not answering his phone. He's not answering my text. And then
also, what is I have so much to prepare? Again, we thought it was a bedding.
And where are they going? Because I thought they were just.
Where are they going? And what is there to prepare? You just need like pajamas.
Well, I noticed this large array of tubes and equipment she was bringing to pack. and I was wondering if she was bringing like all sorts of facial equipment with her.
Okay. I don't know. When you said tubes, my mind went to a different place.
Oh, okay. I don't know what you were thinking, but.
I don't even know.
Okay.
Sexual experiments.
Oh,
Frankenstein.
No.
I don't know.
No. I was thinking of like lymphatic drainage machines and
right before the wedding.
Infrared light and all that.
Yeah.
So, she says, "Here's what happened. I set the coffee pot, with the grinds in it on the ledge to take downstairs. And then when he picked it up, it fell and the grinds went all over. And, he's so OCD. He started yelling at me because he hates a mess. And then he left, but I didn't hear him leave. And he's been gone for an hour. And so she goes, I'll try to
Do they
call
make
him.
coffee up in the
I don't
loft
know
and
if like
not in the kitchen?
they brought it up, but they brought the whole French press, and then it has coffee grounds in it. Just get a Keurig. So she tries to call him. He's not answering. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I just remembered. I have an air tag on his keychain in case he loses his keys." And she laughs.
She thinks she's so funny.
She goes, "He wouldn't share his location on maps with me, and that feels shady. So I just put an air tag on his keychain," which I was like, if he's dumb enough not to figure that out, then he deserves to be
Yeah.
tracked. You
Yeah.
know, really. So she tracks him to a local coffee shop. Dramatic music is like, oh, we're going to find him. And she goes, "We don't have time today to be doing this to projection." Now we get a red screen of death. Okay. Shekinah shared Sarper's location with the other producers who were nearby. They found him to talk to him. And he says to the production, he goes, "I just want to be alone right now. It's getting real. I promised I would never get married again, but now I'm getting married again. And I just needed to sit here alone and clear my mind." So we see Shekinah walking up in some real stupid sunglasses. And
Mhm.
he says to her, he goes, "I'm scared you will change. For 2 years, we've never mentioned this prenup. And then now you just mention it." And she's like, "Babe, what's going on? We have to get ready." And he goes, "I'm so scared, Shekinah. I'm scared of marriage. Are you 100% sure of this marriage?" And she goes, "Well, I was 100% sure, but now you're making me nervous. Do you even want to get married? God, babe." And that's their scene. That's the end.
Oh, again,
Uh,
we know they get married
we know
because
they get
he's still
married
here.
because he's
So
still here.
it really
So
takes away some of the excitement.
I know if they could just get these people to not post things to ruin it for us. We'd
Yeah.
have to really search
Yeah.
for it on Reddit if we wanted it to be ruined.
Right. You could have plausible ignorance.
Yes.
That's not
Yes.
the right word, but you could I
Yes.
look the other way. I actually want to be surprised here.
Yeah. Yeah, like I did doing the Sherry Papini thing. I didn't look at anything else. I was like,
Mhm.
let me just do it for myself. Because,
Yeah.
if I would have listened to a bunch of other recaps, which now I probably should, maybe I would have had a different opinion. Because right when I went on with Keisha, I was like, I didn't watch anything else. And I'm kind of thinking maybe this James guy maybe is a bad guy. Keisha goes, "You're wrong." I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then as we went through it and I read it out loud, I was like, I think I was wrong.
Well, the
Um,
thing is like all documentaries that are true crime based have some sort of slant to them.
yeah,
E- The producers like want you to feel one way or another.
right.
It's hard to find one that is totally just the facts.
Yeah, just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Greg and Joan, the greatest love story ever told.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Um So it's the day before the wedding. They're staying at a rental house. They're excited to have the night away from Lucille so she can't interrupt them having sex. What are you doing up there? So like banging on the ceiling with a
Better not
broom.
hear the shower.
So they have a rehearsal dinner. They go to the house. She loves it. It's right on the water. It's very peaceful. She's like, "I would love to live in a house like this someday." And I was
Of
like,
course.
Keep dreaming, Joan." I
Yeah,
don't know how much the house costs,
a
but
lot.
it's not it's you could achieve it.
She can.
He's probably not gonna get it with his state job.
Yeah.
So maybe the bakery will take off. So
Mm.
they dream about having kids, and Joan will be the strict one because obviously we've already contemplated this and imagined how she will have 5 children, one is Greg, you know.
Right, of course.
And he'll just be on the couch like laughing with the kids and like he'll be a fun dad, but
Yeah.
not strict.
Yeah.
So Greg has a surprise for her. He has found some traditional Nigerian clothes for the rehearsal dinner. He could not find Ugandan clothes, but this is close enough. Everyone decides, even Joan decides this is close enough. It brings her culture there. And again, like this is kind of something that Jessica could be doing for Juan. Like it's
Yes.
it shows that you care, and he went out of his way to do this. And so she just loves it. She's so impressed with him that he did this. He was really stepped up in this episode.
Very.
So they get dressed in the traditional garb. She comes down the stairs. She looks so beautiful, and he almost starts crying just seeing her coming down the stairs for the rehearsal dinner. He's going to be a mess at the wedding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and she's maybe not going to cry because she's not that emotional, but it'll still be very sweet. So, so friends start coming over from the bachelor party. Lucille comes over. She goes, "Oh, how lovely, Joan. You look beautiful. Is that traditional? Did you bring that here?" And then she turns and she sees her son in his traditional garb, and her face like freezes. And then they cut to her talking head, and she's like, I was surprised to see him in that. Um, I think I'd rather see him in a traditional suit. And I was like, Lucille, you got so much goodwill from me. You earned so much last week at these with the strippers.
Yeah.
Like, you were great. And now don't lose it. But then she says, but you know what? Joan looked really beautiful and happy. And I know it made her feel more at home. And we'll do anything to make her happy as long as she makes Greg happy. She does like a fake mafia, like threatening thing.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like, oh, she's being so nice. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah. Also, what you haven't really worked to make her feel comfortable, but you let her in your home, but you with a lot of clauses that were very much like, welcome, except don't do this. Welcome.
I wonder, I didn't see any elder gentleman there that could have been his dad, though. So I wonder if the dad was just like, I'll come to the rehearsal dinner, but do not put me on camera.
Yeah, I don't want a chyron with my name on it. I don't want to be associated. So they are celebrating, and then they have catered traditional African food that Greg has brought in, which again, so nice. And then Lucille is poking at everything, literally like hogging the whole line of buffet, poking at this thing and going, "What is this? Is this bone? What is this? Gregory, what is this bone? What is is this spicy? Is this traditional? Is this spinach? What is this? What are these, Gregory?" And he's like, "How many questions are you going to ask me? Please stop. No one else is asking."
He goes, just get some food and eat. Just eat it and shut up.
Yeah, shut up. And then Joan's like, "You did too much, Greg." And Greg's like, you married a Long Islander and we do it big here. So he's very proud of himself. It's very cute. And then he gives a toast thanking everyone for welcoming Joan. And he's like getting choked up. He's like, she doesn't have anyone here but us. And you made her feel really welcome. And then Lucille is like, "I'll toast to that." And I was like, again, Lucille, you did not do everything you could to make her feel welcome, but that's okay. No. He was more toasting to everyone else, but it's fine. So then Greg's like, "There's one more surprise. Let's step outside." I thought it was going to be fireworks. I don't know why I thought that, but they go outside, and then some African drummers and dancers come up, and it's so cool. And the poor neighbors, I don't know, the houses are right on top of each other there. That's all I can think about. But Joan is so excited. She's dancing. She's like, I've never seen her so free. Like when she's dancing, because normally she's very reserved and put together. She's composed, and she's like free. And she says, "I'm overwhelmed. I'm speechless. This is my best day." And it was so sweet. And then she says, "I miss my family. I really do. I would have loved for them to have been here for this, but I feel so embraced and loved by Greg's family. And he's the right guy for me." And I was like, sweet. Until he's going to fuck it up tomorrow, because we've seen the previews. Yeah. And then, so it's now the next day, and it's the wedding day. They're both so happy. She goes to the saloon, or the salon to get ready.
And she went to a saloon? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was funny. And then, so she's going to go get her makeup and everything done. And then it's later. Suddenly Greg is like cussing to himself and saying he screwed everything up. And Lucille is like, "What's wrong? You look upset." He's like, "I messed up. The arrival time on the invitations is 6:30, but that's when the ceremony starts." And now I felt like this was dumb that no one thought of this, but I didn't feel like it was like an earth-shattering mistake.
Me either.
Like, they really made it seem like the whole venue was gonna collapse because the timing was wrong, or he lost his job. Like, for sure thought he lost his
I
job.
thought he, like, forgot to get the marriage certificate, so it wouldn't get
Yes.
officially signed, so she would have to, like, go back. Like, I thought it was something
Right.
huge, but I was like, "It
Huge.
sounds like it was an Evite anyway.
Yeah.
Just send a
Send
text."
a
Yeah,
thing. So he's like, if things run late, we have the cocktail hour, we have the dancing, the venue, is charging us for this stuff. And I was like, okay, so they might charge you a little more,
30
or
minutes.
you cut into the dancing by half an hour and you cut into the cocktail hour by half an hour, and then it's all worked out.
It
Like,
doesn't
unless it
seem to
has
be
to be
insurmountable problem.
no, unless it's like has to be timed by the sunset or something, like, is it that? But no,
Mhm.
I think they're inside, so I don't even think that matters. So, he's gonna send a mass text message to people to tell them to arrive on time, please. And he just doesn't want Joan to be like walking down the aisle and there's people coming in. That happened to me where I went to a wedding and I was right on time, but it literally started. And
Yeah.
I was like walking with the groom to the scene. And I was like, "Wow, you started, like, exactly on time." That's crazy.
Well, usually there's a wedding coordinator or an usher there or somebody to not let that happen, to be like, "Oh, it started, so you need to go over to the side," or whatever,
Right,
you
yeah.
know?
So it was very strange. I felt so awkward. So, but I arrived what time it said to. Like, I wasn't late.
Yeah.
So he wants Joan to know that he's reliable and dependable, and he's like crying. He's literally getting choked up. He's like, I just don't want to mess this up because I really want to make her proud. So Lucille is going to help him and they're going to start contacting people. She's just going through the list. Like, okay, so we're going to start with Sandy. We're going to message Sandy. I think it's
Just
fine.
message everybody you know that's invited. Tell them all to
Yeah,
come at 6 instead of 6:30. Some
yeah.
will arrive at 6:15. That still gives some wiggle
That
room,
still is a buffer, yeah.
and then you can still start at, like, 6:40. I mean, it's
Yeah,
okay.
you can push it 15 minutes, the start
Yeah.
time, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really ready for something totally catastrophic, but
Mhm.
once again, we got
Not
sharp.
sharp fake out.
Mhm. Okay, well, we can move on to our throuple. This week, the throuple seemed so fake to me. It seemed like, um, they had told the aunt beforehand,
Mm.
and I felt like they had told everybody beforehand. That's what I felt.
Yeah, their reactions were strange, muted,
Mhm. Mhm.
very.
If they'd never heard of something like this in their lives ever,
Yeah,
then their reactions were lackluster, you
yeah.
know? So, all right.
I'd have so many questions.
Oh, me
Like,
too. Me too.
how does it work? What are the rules? Are you all together at the same time? Are you like, I would ask way too many personal questions probably that were
Yeah.
inappropriate.
Is it like 1 man, 2 women, or is it 2
Right.
women, 1
Is it like
man? Like,
poly family and, like,
yeah.
there are 2 different bedrooms and people rotate?
And
I
you
didn't
rotate, are
even
y'all gonna sleep
understand.
together? Like, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen? They definitely haven't thought that through. So,
No.
we open with Ani is giving them Listerine in their mouths, and they all, kiss to make sure it works. They're going to explore
Yes.
Guadalajara today. They're there to meet her family, and she says, "I'm nervous because 'cause I've never introduced a boyfriend or a partner to my family at all." I mean, she's got 3 kids with 3 different guys. She never introduced any of those kids?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How
Any
close
of
is
those
she to this
dads.
family?
Yeah, really.
Well, and some of them are active participants because aren't some of them with oh, wait, where are those 2 other kids? Are they with their dads or are they with the family somewhere?
The older one is, like, in his 20s, and then
Oh,
the second one is the
what?
yeah, she's got a kid's, like, 22.
But isn't
She's
she
37.
oh, that's right. Okay.
Mhm.
That's
She has
right.
a kid that's, like, 22, and then she's got a son that lives with the dad, and then she's got the daughter that lives with her.
Okay.
Um, but she only talks about the daughter.
Yeah.
So,
The daughter's really the only one that counts. Like, someone will be like, "For the kids," and then she'll be like, "For Antonella."
yeah, that's the only one she cares about. So,
Yeah.
um,
Much
she
like, uh, Gino and Jasmine. Jasmine's would always talk about that one kid.
You're like, you have 2. Now she has 3. So she tells us, Ani tells us when she was a child, she lost both of her parents. We don't know how or what the circumstances was, but she
Yeah.
doesn't have many important people in her life. But she has her aunt who took care of her when she was young. She grew up poor, but it was a great life because her aunt gave her everything she could. So they're touring around. They sit on a bench to rest their feet. And Amani has her hair pulled back and she looks like a Dr. Spock or she looks like an elf. Mr. Spock.
Pointy ears.
Yeah, or an elf. She never wears her hair back like that, so I'd never noticed it before. But yeah,
I think that's kind of in. People do surgery to get it like that.
To have elf ears.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like body modification.
Knowing her, she probably had surgery to make her ears look like that. So, anyway, she's a beautiful woman, even though she
really is.
So in the talking head, Ani says, if my family doesn't approve, because this is just not normal in my culture, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm, she's very worried about going. So they're arriving and he says, oh, this is really pretty. What is this called? And he goes, they're butterflies. What are they called? She's like, mariposas. She just can't. She's just like, I can't even talk about butterflies. So
also, that's like the last time Matt says anything the whole episode.
He's definitely put in his place at all times. Like,
yeah,
we're only here for your male member. So everyone is nervous. And Amani reminds us that her brother and her aunt are very religious and they might not accept them. So they all greet and everything. And I think this is an Airbnb. I don't think they live in this house.
That's probably fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good at spotting that.
It's a semi-obsession. The Airbnb and people's teeth are kind of my obsession. So I don't think it's really their house. But they all introduce, like, this is my brother. His name is Alex. His wife's name is Telma. And no H, Telma. And then the aunt is named Virginia. Virginia. So the aunt, Tia Virginia, says she's so happy Brenda is there. And she's so happy to meet this new boyfriend and her friend that came as well. So they all do salute, they toast, and Brenda, Ani, starts to talk. And Amani, she's like, so I just wanted to tell you about my friends. And Amani starts like, starts choking dramatically.
I'm dying. I'm so.
It was so dramatic. And I'm like, of course, Amani is going to be like, look at me. I'm choking. So,
but if you've had that happen though, where it goes down. She says it goes in the wrong hole, which is not the. I know. Went in the right hole.
My husband always says it goes down the wrong throat.
No, that's not right.
That's not right either. He always says it goes down the wrong. I say go down the wrong pipe.
Pipe is, I think, how you're supposed to say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just
happens
too much. It just happens.
You just get like a little spittle and you're like, and you're like,
it can't be fixed. Yeah.
You have to literally cough it out. Yeah. So Amani chokes. She gets up and walks off right as they're about to make this big announcement. But then Brenda, Ani announces, Matt is my boyfriend, but also Amani is my girlfriend.
The girl we're doing Heimlich on.
Yeah, the girl that we're Heimliching on with the elf ears. And she goes, I'm with Matt, but I also like girls. They are married, and I have a relationship with him and with her, and we want to get married. So this is a lot. It's a lot. Not only she's saying she's bi, she's saying she's in a throuple, and they want to get married.
Yeah.
So the sister-in-law is kind of smirking, smiling. That's why I think it's fake. And the brother-in-law is just sort of shaking his head, like, again. And
again with this, my sister, why can't she just be normal?
Just act right. So the aunt says, how will this work with all 3 of you? Like, I don't understand. Like, how will you be married? I'm really shocked. And Ani goes, well, the truth is I can only marry one. So they will divorce and we can all be together. And Telma's like, wow, shocking. Like, wow. Once again, I am married to the good sibling here. The one that everybody likes the most.
Exactly.
So the talking head, Alex goes, "Yeah, I thought we were told we're meeting a boyfriend and a friend, and so this is a different situation." But again, I think maybe they told them before, they filmed these talking heads before, and then they were like, "But we're gonna film telling you," so act really shocked. I think they had to be prepared because the aunt just didn't have enough of a reaction to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Or that's just her personality, like Joan.
Or she's just gonna, like, really shit talk them when they walk away.
Right.
So Amani says, "Please explain to them that, for us to divorce after 15 years of marriage or whatever it is, for us to divorce shows you how much we love you and we want to offer you a better life for you and your kids." And Ani repeats it, but only mentions Antonella. Fuck those other kids. So,
Yep.
and I don't like this offer you a better life. I don't,
It's
that
very white
seems
savior.
that white
Yes.
savior. It seems like it's not really about the love. It's more like we're trying to save you. And I don't
Hmm.
know. I mean, she seems to be doing fine. She doesn't even need to be saving.
No.
So Alex says, "Well, I'm open. And if it's okay with all of you, then it's okay with me." And she says, "Thank you, brother Alex." And the talking head, Virginia, says, "Her childhood was hard. And I'm looking out for her and I'm watching over her. I want her to be happy, but I don't understand this. This is not normal in our religion." So
There's a
Amani,
lot of things not normal in your religion, lady.
well,
I hate to break it to you. Go read the
um,
Bible.
Amani says, Amani says, "Tell her you won't be alone anymore because we will take care of you now." And for a long time, it was Brenda against the world, but now it's the three of us against the world.
Oh my God, this lady, like
Amani,
she's
what do you,
grandstanding doing this like speech. She's gonna save all of Mexico. Like, calm down.
lady, take
Like
your
she's a
elf
big
ears and
martyr
get out of
savior.
here.
It's yeah, just it's way too much.
So
I would
Ani,
be offended if I was Ani. Like I would,
she's like, "Now you've said it twice that you're saving
yeah,
me, right?"
yeah.
Yeah. So Virginia kneels down in front of him, which is odd. And she says, "This is hard for me to accept. But you know what makes me really happy? I see in your eyes that you love her a lot."
Who was she talking about?
I think she's saying to Amani, "I see in your eyes that you love her, Ani, a lot."
Where? But Matt is sitting right there.
No, they don't talk. They don't
They
acknowledge him
don't
whatsoever.
even look at him.
Mm-mm.
The aunt does not even look at Matt, who is beaming. He's so happy, like he's the one looking with love in his eyes, but like
Right.
no one is acknowledging him whatsoever.
She gets up and she hugs both girls, and then she's like, "Oh, yeah," and Matt goes, "Group hug, group hug. Can I get a what? Can I get in? Can I just move your arm a little bit to the left. I'll just duck under. It's okay." Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, anyway, to me, it was planned in advance, and they're in an Airbnb. Fake, 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 check all the fake boxes. So,
Yeah.
the 3 of them are all like, "Blah, blah, blah. No one else I would do this for. Blah, blah, blah. Move to the next steps. Blah, blah, blah." Those are my notes. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I hate them. Okay, and that's it. So now we're going to move on to a more interesting couple, which is Jessica and Juan.
Oh God, are they more interesting?
Yeah,
That's
they are.
subjective.
Yeah.
So she was pissing me off in this episode, actually.
A little bit. Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're driving as a family with the kids in the back seat, and they're saying that all 3 kids are going to be the ring bearer, and the one is like, "You dress like a bear," and it was very cute. Yeah.
Just like a bear.
But then the baby starts crying, and everyone's unhappy. So they're going to this rental house. It's 2 days to the wedding. So they're going to this rental house in Colorado, and their talking head in their talking head, Juan is saying, but we've had a lot of stuff going on, but we're still here. We're still really happy. It's been such a long time for us to get to this point. And then Jessica goes, and like a teacher, she's full on always teacher mode, parent
Yep.
mode with him.
Yep.
And he goes, "Oh, and we're getting married." And she goes, "Yeah, don't forget that key piece of it." And he goes, "Okay, no, I didn't. Sorry, mom. Sorry."
Yeah.
Like it's so, why is she talking like that's a woman who's been around kids a lot. She's obviously has 3 young children, but like she talks to him that way too.
She
That's
does.
gonna get really old real fast.
And it's like
Like,
she said, no matter what he says, she sort of negates it.
yeah. So
Like,
there's
"Oh, we're going to
several things, and
Colorado."
she
Yeah,
fishes for compliments all the
yeah,
time. So
yeah,
there's like several things she does that I think would just turn him off immediately. It turns me off like right away. Like, stop.
yeah, yeah.
So she bugs me. So they're all running around the rental house and they're like, it's so big. Oh my God, there are doors in the bedrooms. There's no word art telling us to gather and to family
How will
to
we know what to
eat.
do? How will we know we're a
Yeah.
family? How will we know? How will we know? Yes.
Pee and poop here. Like, we
No.
won't know what to do. So Juan has some relatives coming in from Spain, and he's very excited to be around his people because he does not feel like Megan and Herbie and those children are his people.
Right.
So his aunt and his uncle and some cousins show up. It's very, very sweet. Both Juan's parents are gone. So he's very excited to have his aunt and uncle. And one of the little cousins seems to be around Jessica's son's age, or maybe like a little older. And
Mhm.
so I was hoping they would be friends. They can't really talk to each other because no
That's a
one speaks
problem.
Spanish.
Right.
So aunt and uncle say the uncle says, I had a dream about Juan's mom and she
Mhm.
asked me to come to the wedding. And
That's
the aunt
nice.
says, we're trying to fill that spot to show him that his family's here. And it's very sweet. So they all toast, and Jessica says something in Spanish that translates to good seeing instead of welcome,
Yeah. Yeah.
which she said bienvenidos earlier. So I don't know. Then she forgets it 5 minutes later. And she says, like, I don't know what she says. It's like one of the most basic Spanish words, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been on It's a Small World like way too many times, and it
Oh,
says bienvenidos everywhere because it says all of the like welcome
welcome. Yeah,
words.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But whatever. Also, I live in LA, like where a lot of people speak Spanish. So
Right.
she's not around it as much. I'll give
No,
her that grace.
not in Wyoming. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm sure there are some people that are like,
Well, I'm sure there are, but she needs to find some.
she
And
needs
so
to find
and
some.
so does Juan.
So
Yes.
the next day, it's one day to wed and the snow is coming down. This does not look good for their outdoor wedding adventure where they're going to just wait till frostbite sets in and then move everyone inside. So that I keep thinking of that wedding venue lady who's like, when we see the Loch Ness monster coming out in
No,
covered in snow,
no.
then we will move everyone inside.
Loch
Like
Ness Monster would be
in
a lake in Ireland. So
yeah.
you're thinking of a
I'm thinking of a
Sasquatch,
Yeti.
a
A
Yeti.
Yeti.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Isn't that not in Ireland? That is in
Scotland? Scotland?
somewhere else. We're
Loch
idiots.
Ness is either Scotland or Ireland.
Okay, I
Okay.
trust you.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking of. We just did some Bigfoot stuff on our Patreon, so I think
Oh,
Bigfoot is in my mind.
I'd love to talk
Squatchy.
about Bigfoot. I gotta go
Yeah,
look.
such sexy, sneaky Squatch, Mary
Sneaky
Payne's game
Sasquatch.
of choice.
Look,
Uh,
here are my
I
Sasquatches
know.
right here. Yes.
So I think I'm thinking like the Iditarod is gonna come by with the dogs, and then they'll be like,
They're like,
okay,
"We'll get
now it's time to go in.
blankets and
Like,
clear umbrellas if it's snowing." It's like, "Or just go inside.
or
Or
just go
just
inside.
go inside." Yeah.
Yeah. So they Leonardo drives up, the cousin from last time who had to go on the saddest trip ever to Niagara Falls.
Yes.
He's gonna be Juan's best man. And he has been in the States for 23 years and has not seen the aunt and uncle since then. I kind of thought those were his parents, but then the aunt says my nephews are like my sons. So that's not his parents, but still aunt and uncle. They're all very happy. They're crying. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Megan is there and
Mhm.
she's like, do you want some food? We don't have any food. Maybe you guys should go to the store. So they send Juan and Leonardo to the grocery store, although they somehow wind up at a bar playing darts. So I was
Wow.
very confused. So he's like, I'm not going to the grocery store for all these people. I'm going to leave my cousins at the house with Jessica to not speak Spanish with them.
Right. Nobody
So
can communicate. It's fine.
yeah. So Juan tells Leonardo, I'm trying to adjust to my life as Mr. Dad. That was very funny. And he says, I'm very worried about David missing out on my culture. And Leonardo says, well, I have 2 kids, with my ex-wife, and we only speak Spanish at home with the kids. They only speak English at school, so they're fluent in both.
Yeah.
And which I think is a great way to do it. And Juan says, well, that won't work for me, obviously, because Jessica doesn't speak any Spanish. And then we get a flashback montage of Jessica looking dumb, and which was kind of mean. And she's welcoming the family to the house, and she's like, welcome to the house, casa.
Yeah.
It's a big house.
It's like me.
Grande.
Grande. I just
Yeah.
throw in the words. I know. I'll say something. I'll go,
Yeah.
frio,
Yeah.
no caliente. Now, look at me. I speak Spanish. I do not speak
I
Spanish.
mean, she's really trying. God
Yeah.
bless her. She really is trying now. She could have done so much more in the last 4 years,
I know.
but she's really trying with the cousins. She's smiling and trying to welcome them. Dawson, tu gusta football. It's very funny. And the cousins are calling the baby handsome, and she goes, yes, grande. And they like all smile like, she's dumb blonde lady. So Juan is like, I'm worried about David not learning Spanish. He says David, and I was like, no, it's David. You're doing it too, Juan.
Yeah.
Your Spanish side is slipping away like in the photo in Back to the Future. It's just like disappearing before our eyes because he said David.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So I ran like 7 times. I was like, did he just say David? That child is David.
I know. Yeah.
So Juan and Leonardo, they go to a bar, they're playing darts, and Leonardo's like, just try to teach all the boys, like Jessica's boys too, and Jessica. Just try to teach them all Spanish, only speak Spanish at the home. And Juan says, no, it's a mission impossible. And Leonardo's like, no, just tell her this is what we're doing. It's important to me, so this is what we're doing.
Good luck.
He has not met Jessica. She didn't go for that. And
Mm-mm.
Juan's like, well, she's been promising for 4 years that she'd learn Spanish. When we were dating, she promised. Then we got engaged and she said, okay, I really need to learn Spanish now. Then we got pregnant. She got pregnant and it was like, okay, now I I promise I'm going to learn Spanish. She just never did. Yeah. And so Juan is like, this needs to be fixed. I won't marry her if she doesn't promise to learn Spanish. Okay. Well, she's promised before and it doesn't mean anything. So,
I mean, okay. Yeah.
She can't learn Spanish in one day. So then the boys and the cousin are all playing the international game of ping pong. And so it doesn't matter that they don't speak Spanish because kids can just get along even if they don't speak the same language. It's very cute. Yeah. And he says it's so special seeing my little cousin playing with the boys. And like, I didn't really realize how much I wanted my culture to be part of my family until now. And so he asked to talk to Jessica, and he tells her that, first of all, the way they talk to each other is so fake and like annoying. She's like, well, he goes, you're fine. You don't need a coat. You're American. And she's like, I'm American, but I still get cold. It's cold on my butt. And he's like, fake laughs. Haha, cold on my butt too. Like, it just seems so like they hate each other or it's all, I just hate him. I just don't like them together. Yeah. They don't seem to ever have normal, natural conversations. Like,
we need to just see the two of them go on a date with like no kids, no Megan, no Herbie, no naked ladies, no Niagara Falls. Just go sit down and have like a dinner together and get their vibe together,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without her lecturing him on something.
Right.
That would be really great.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm concerned that my son will lose his culture and he won't be able to communicate with any of his relatives in Colombia. And I'm the only one who speaks Spanish at the home. So it'd be really hard to only speak Spanish at home. And she goes, well, I can do the basics of Spanish. And look how far I've come. I could barely count to 10 before. I was like, you can barely count to 10 now.
It's not what you need anyway.
No, Also, I don't think you can do it right now. Do it. I don't think you can. So I think you get to uno. So she's like, she's like, she couldn't even welcome them into their home. Like, it's fine. But she's like, I'm busy, which is true. Again, she's a single mom or
Yeah.
she's co-parenting with the dad. Anyway, she was
Yeah.
single mom to the baby. She's like, I'm busy. I had to do everything on my own with the baby when you weren't here, which is true. And he says, yeah, but it's your son's culture. So
Yeah.
it's not just for me, like this is for your son, and you can't just say you don't have time to learn it. And then he starts to talk about his cousin. I think it's the older cousin, the female that's there, and her
Mhm.
husband, who's American. And he's like, so he learned Spanish. He doesn't have the huge language of Spanish, like the level of Spanish, but he's learned some. And she interrupts him and she's like, he went and lived in Colombia. And he goes, can I finish, please? And then they just start arguing, and she keeps interrupting him. Like, she will not let him get a sentence out. She's so defensive. And he is like, she keeps going, he had this many years to learn. He had 20 years. And he's like, well, at the beginning, yeah, he didn't, but how long have you known him? You haven't known him for 20 years. I've known him for 10 years. He had 10 years to learn. And he goes, okay, you had 4 and you haven't.
Uh-huh.
And so he's like, I only hear excuses from you and you keep interrupting me. This is a concern I have and I want you to know about it. And she tells us it's a low blow because for the last 4 years, I've been raising children and working full time and I don't have time to learn Spanish. Well, with those apps, I think it's like 10 minutes a day. And you could learn it in the car with the kids. You listen to audio tapes.
True.
There's probably kids' Spanish shows that she
Yeah.
could put
Oh,
on
yeah.
and like
Totally.
learn some Spanish. So she says, I don't like being blindsided like this. And now I'm going to go into the wedding all stressed out. But like by the same token, she's always like, you have to tell me what you want, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she'd be mad if, he does wait till the last minute a lot of times to tell her.
It is the day before the wedding, right?
It is the day before
Right.
the wedding. So she's like, why do we have to have this conversation right now? And he says, because we're getting married. And she goes, so what? This is a make it or break it thing. Like, I have to learn Spanish or you won't get married. Well, she did give him an ultimatum just last episode about the cruise. So
True.
um, he says, I gave up everything to come here. And I just want our child to have some of my culture. Now, I do see his point. He gave up everything, but at the same point, he knocked her up. So he is doing the only right thing, which is coming to be with his child.
Right.
So you should have wrapped it up, Juan, if you didn't want to come here.
Yeah, I don't think this is a fake fight. I think it's a real fight, but I think it's also just like the day before he's like, "Oh my god, what have I done? Let me see if I can just like pick something apart so I maybe don't have to do this." Yeah.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
last ditch. He is trying to pull himself out of that uh, grave. Like, I
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
he's like, I think he's seen his life flash before his eyes and he does not want this
He
life.
does.
But I think it's too late. I think it's going to happen.
My AirPods just connected to here. That's weird.
By
Hold,
the
put.
way, Sarper needs some wireless headphones because did you see his poor knotted wired headphones in the coffee shop?
Um. Okay, are we good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you
Okay,
hear
it's
me
fine.
talking about
Yeah, I can
Sarper's
hear. Yeah,
headphones?
I did. I did see his not. I used to when I would record with Katie. I'd be like Katie, and hers would be like in a knot up to her chin, like this.
It's so funny. It's like a representation of her mind, I think. And she always is like trying to untangle them. And she's like, what did I do? Why is it like this?
I
Why
said,
am I like
I
this?
said,
It's
doesn't that
so
bother
funny.
you? And she's like, does it
I
bother you? I
know.
go, yeah, kinda. It's kind of
No, it
bothering me.
totally bothers her too, but
Yeah.
it's not getting fixed. It's fine. It's so funny. It's endearing, I think. It's
It's Katie.
it's Kate. Katie is a magical creature.
She is. We don't understand her brain. We love her so much.
I know.
She's got the pun brain, the brain that makes the puns.
That's why, because it's all tangled in a mess and it
It's
can
so
come up
good.
with the most brilliant things.
It's so good. Um, all right, speaking of magical creatures, let's go to Shawn and Aaliyah. Aaliyah being the magical creature here. Do you know a listener sent me the other day a screenshot of a ad for Ulta makeup, the
Yeah.
Ulta store, and it was Aaliyah was in the ad.
No.
Like 100% it was her. Like there's no I was
Good
like,
for
that
her.
100% looks like her. Now, I don't know if it's some beautiful woman that looks just like her, but it looks exactly like her.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Well, she
Yeah.
could model. Yeah,
She
for
could, for
sure.
sure. So, in the face, and everything. So,
Yeah.
it was a makeup ad. So, um, Also, somebody wrote me to point out that the mom still had the Christmas decorations up on the piano. So the mom
In
is a
addition to 4th of July.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. She's all seasons all the time in her home. It's
I
like
love her.
every room has a theme, I think.
And I
Yeah.
really think she should be on Single Life if she's interested in dating.
Yeah. We're not sure about that. So, all right. So the mom is kooky, and that's why she still has decorations up all the time because they
Yeah.
don't match the time of year. So we open up with the camera zooming into the house, and we hear Shawn grunting, going, "Oh, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Uh." But he's talking to the dog, so
Matt Sharp fake out,
we
but
didn't
this
need
one I
see
was
that
glad for.
Shawn was giving it to somebody. Now they wake up in the morning. Are we to believe that Alliya slept in that wig with bangs? No.
I don't think so, no.
No, she did not sleep, and she wouldn't mess up a wig like that by sleeping in it. So,
No.
but anyway, that's fine. She wanted to have it on for her wake up scene. So today is the big day, and he's saying it's going to be so hot today. And she goes, "Well, I have a surprise for you." So in the talking head, she says, "I love Shawn, and I want to spend my life with him. And I know this prenup means a lot to him. So I'm going to sign it." She comes out of the bathroom with the prenup and presents it to him. He goes, "Does this also include your autograph?" And she says, "Yes." And so she signs it and says, "I hope you never need to use it." And he says, "Me too." And he jokes around and says he'll frame it and put it up their bed. And she's like, "Oh, great. So I can be reminded every time I go to sleep. That's great." They're joking. It's fine. Now, Jackie, her friend, is going to be there soon. And they're like, "Okay, now if Jackie's coming, you'll be ready on time." And he goes, "Okay, so does on time mean 1 hour late, or what does on time mean for you?" And she goes,
Yeah.
"No, Jackie's coming now, so I'll be ready." And, then in the talking head, she says to him, "Did you enjoy it? Are you satisfied now?" I think she means about the prenup.
Yeah.
It was
It
it was
is.
strange sounding. All right, so now Mom Jeannie is in the kitchen. Now we do get a shot here behind the kitchen, and we see the living area. The piano does have like the white fake snow on it with a full
Mhm.
Christmas scene, the whole piano.
There we go. Okay.
Now, did you notice also Mom has red carpet, white leather furniture, and those 80s Patrick Nagel prints all over the wall?
Um, I mean, I'm not surprised because Sean's taste is also very eclectic.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just recognized it right away. I was like, "Okay, everybody back in my day when I was in high school had those Patrick Nagel prints." They look like the,
I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna Google
look
it.
it up, Nagel. It's this very specific pop art kind of style, and the women all look like the lady who was being chased in Hungry Like the Wolf, or maybe she was the
Okay.
chaser.
Yeah.
The
I know
model,
exactly.
yeah, the
Yeah.
model with the, like, the slashes on the cheeks and the
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the punk rock hairdo. So,
Yes.
she's got 3 of these huge Patrick Nagel posters, and the furniture is white and the carpet is red. So,
Yeah.
just couldn't get over it. So
Yeah.
Mom says, "So, today will be your wedding day, I guess. Is it?" He says, "Yep, she signed the prenup." And, I just wrote, "What a dream to have somebody that just in your family that could do your hair."
I know,
So,
but they get all bitter and resentful because it's
he's like, "Yes, everybody I always say I'm not gonna do it, and then I do it." And he gets out
yeah.
his curling
It's
iron.
like being a doctor, and every time you have a cold, you're like, "Can you help me?"
"Can you help me? Can you call in some antibiotics?"
Yeah.
So talking head Shawn says, "I work in a business where precision is important." Because he has schedules, and he has
Yeah.
this person put their dye on their hair at this time. It has to come off at this time. If you put the rollers in, they got to come out. He's like, "Everything with me is on a schedule. Everything is appointments and schedules is precision." And he says, so he goes over the exact time of the wedding. Like, the
Mhm.
wedding is at 5. This is at 5:30. This is at 5:45. This is at 6. This is at 6:15. And then da 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 on to, and then the dancing starts at 8. So
I did
wedding at 5.
notice there is an hour gap for Alliya to do a dance. She is going to do some sort of dance, but there's an hour scheduled there. So,
Oh,
I'm assuming she's doing some sort of, like, 3-minute routine,
yeah.
but they do have, like, an hour buffer in there.
Right, and I think they're putting the buffer in because she's known to be late,
Yeah,
I
maybe
think.
she has an outfit change. I don't even know if she's
Oh, I
wearing that
for
dress the whole time.
she
She might have
definitely has an
5
outfit change, yeah,
outfit changes.
yeah.
This is gonna go so bad. Oh god, I'm so stressed. I'm very curious to see what side you're on.
Okay. So they arrive at the milk barn, Jackie and Alliya. This place is called the milk barn. So they go into this beautiful home where she's going to have the whole house to herself to get ready. So she starts this long process of getting ready at 1:30 is when she gets in the shower. Okay. Remember,
Yeah.
5 o'clock is our goal here.
Yeah.
And then we get, while cameras were following Alliya and Jackie to the venue, Shawn had an emergency with his mother. And we hear him going, Mom, Mom. The talking head, he says, I found my mother sprawled in agony on the kitchen floor. She had trouble moving. She had hurt her hip. She's 85. You could die from that. He
Yeah,
says,
I didn't know that it's such like a
well, I think any kind of broken bone and you're 85, you could
but
die from. I don't,
especially hip, apparently, it increases your odds of, like, death, pneumonia, infection, heart
why?
attack by multiple I think they and you will more likely to not be ever mobile again or self-sufficient. Like, that's when you get moved out of your house
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
that's and you're just stationary. I don't know. It's like there's this huge connection.
Huh.
You go up in percentage-wise.
I didn't
I
know
knew it
that.
was bad, but I didn't know it was such like a they say it can be like a death sentence.
Oh my gosh. Well, so this
Yeah,
is what he says. And I was like, huh? But now Kimberly's researched it.
yeah,
And he says, I've seen her hobble around on a broken knee and say she's fine. So I know, that she's capable of just completely lying and saying she's fine. And if I know my mom, she would rather die at the wedding than miss
yeah,
the wedding.
yeah,
Okay. So he leaves and it's now 3:30. So she's putting her leg up and she says, no, I won't go to the hospital. I'll be fine. By 5 o'clock. It'll be no problem.
yeah.
So out of the shower now, Alliya and Jackie are popping champagne and she's doing all of her own hair and makeup. And she says, it's 3 p.m. So I'll start with my hair. And she says,
I
so
thought last time when Shawn was with his mom, he said it's been very stressful because they had to find someone to do Aaliyah's hair and
a hair
makeup and stuff
braider
like yeah, okay, for under the wigs.
for under to
I
braid it.
see, okay.
Yeah. So she must have had that done the night before because she's
Yeah,
not
I
having
really
it
think
done.
she should
Yeah.
have had someone come and do it. I know she's a perfectionist and probably wants to do it herself,
She wants to,
but
and
timing.
she wants Shawn to be like awed by her look and everything.
Yeah.
And so she says, okay, so it's 3 p.m. She goes, I need a full hour and a half to do the hair and makeup. And Jackie goes, well, you don't have an hour and a half. You have 90 minutes. So, but isn't an hour and a half
That
90 minutes?
is an hour and a half, yeah.
Okay. So that doesn't make sense, but that's what I wrote down because I was like,
I
So
don't think
maybe
that's what I think it made sense on the show, so it
yeah,
must have been different numbers.
maybe she says you
But
have
why
15
didn't she
minutes.
tell her that ahead of time? She really should have
She should have
you
been like,
gotta
okay, you now have this. Now
yeah,
you have
jump
this.
in the shower.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let me pop the champagne. You go put on that eyeliner, girl. So
Mhm.
Shawn is in the car and he calls his friend Stacy. He was like, oh, my mom fell. I think she hurt her ankle. She maybe hurt her knee, maybe her hip. Can you go help her? So he gets Stacy. He's going to
He
go
didn't
get a
even have to
wheelchair.
say that. Stacy's like, "I'm on it. Text me her address." Like, Stacy's
Yeah.
the kind of friend you want.
Yeah.
Like, "Don't worry, I got it handled."
Your crisis averted. Count on
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
So Shawn has brought an alternate wig to give to Alliya. It's over 100 degrees. He's got the wig.
And it's outside,
It's
outside wedding.
outside. He's got the dog. He's got the rings, and he's got a suit. So now we're getting
That
like
is
a,
way too hot. That's someone's gonna die. Like,
but it must be just a total dry heat because nobody's really sweating and they've got all that shade. Do you know what I mean?
I
Nobody seems to be
yeah,
sweating. So it must be a dry heat where it's just sort of unbearable, but at least it's not so humid that you're just
yeah.
dripping.
There is an awning at least.
There's covers everywhere. I noticed that huge shades everywhere. Now we get a clock ticking. Jackie tells Alliya, Jackie, what are you doing? This did not need to be told to Alliya because this completely sidelined them. Jackie
Yeah,
says,
that's
Gene,
true.
it was a 6-minute conversation they didn't need to have.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
she says, Jeannie she fell and she hurt her knee and her ankle this morning. And then Aaliyah's like, oh no, is she okay? And they have a full conversation. Oh, I'm worried now. I'm anxious. She's kind of like tearing up a
Crying a little.
little. And
Yeah.
you're like, no,
Mhm.
don't mess up your makeup. 4:30, 4:45. We're getting this clock. Okay.
I'm so
And
nervous.
he's ready. Maxwell's ready. And so he's looking for his mom. There's giant shades there for them, which is great. The view is beautiful. Mom has the foot propped up with some ice. And he knows, he says, I just want this wedding to happen and then somebody to take my mom to the hospital. Like, that's what
Yep.
I need here. And it does seem that they have fans or a breeze because people's hair and clothes are moving. So either they have big box fans off that we can't see, or there's a nice
That's true.
breeze.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Jackie is helping Alliya into her dress. It's 5:30. So it's 30 minutes past when the wedding is supposed to start. Now we're getting at 6 o'clock. So now they're 1 hour late and she's fully ready. She comes out in this dress, which is really something. It's a naked dress.
It's one of those naked dresses.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's again not what I would choose, but
right.
that is her.
That's her.
Yeah.
That's very much her look. Her hair looks great. Her makeup always looks great. And she looks at herself and says, I feel wonderful and complete, which is great.
Yeah.
But now it's 6:15. Okay.
Yeah, you have been complete 3 hours earlier?
Yeah. And so his friends are like, yeah, what's the deal? Like, is she not coming? It's all like, oh God. And he goes, yeah, dinner's supposed to be served right now. And
That
I would,
friend in the shiny hat, the bedazzled
yeah,
cowboy hat, I was like, "Are
yeah.
you trying to steal focus? Why are you
Yeah.
wearing that?"
um, I first of all, if I was hot, even a dry heat with fans and air movement, I'd still be hot.
Are they by the ocean?
No, they're in wine country, Sonoma.
Yeah, but I kinda thought they had, like, driven west. You're right. So, yeah, it could be a dry heat.
I would be
Yeah.
sweating bullets and I would be annoyed at this time. I'd be like,
100%.
yeah, I'd be like
But
30, 30 minutes wiggle room is all I can allow.
yeah, but the people that are complaining, I feel like, are the people too close to the groom to be complaining because
Right.
it's like the mom and the best friends and stuff. Like, if it's a random friend, like, fine, they can bitch. But if it's the mom or the best friend, they should be like, "It's fine. We're gonna be fine. We're here." One
Yeah.
lady's like, "I have a hard out at
Yeah.
8."
I think it was mom.
I was like, "What? No, you
Yeah.
don't.
And
You
somebody they're
didn't
like,
clear out."
they could at least provide drinks. Now that I think if you're the mom, you could say, "Hey, Shawn, you should get the wait staff to bring everybody some water." Like, you could
Yes.
do something about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You also have a TV show there. So maybe there's a PA that could go and get some drinks if the staff is not able to for
Just go
some
get
reason.
bottles of water for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Enough. No more. Literally, I'm done. No going back. I'm done." And we get this dramatic music that he's like just gonna like cancel the wedding. Now, 100%, I believe he goes and sees her and she's coming down the stairs, but she's late and he's mad. I do believe they go ahead and get married. And the conversation that we started the whole season with, I believe, is
Yeah.
just about how rude it was to the guest to be
Yeah.
that late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think happens. Is that what you
I
think?
mean, the last time he did this, he threw a fit, not a fit, but he said, like, "I was married
Yeah,
to a woman before who would
yeah,
always wait. Like, I don't want this to be my life again," which then you shouldn't be marrying a woman,
right,
um, or be marrying a low maintenance woman,
right.
um, because some women are not like this, but, like, Alliya is. But he has said multiple times, like, "I don't wanna be constantly waiting for her,
Yeah,
and I can't do this." And then they had the discussion several times that day and probably leading up to the day,
yeah,
and she promised.
yeah.
And
I,
is
I
this
would have
the
put I would have put it on Jackie. Like, Jackie, this is your one job. Keep this
Right,
train on the track.
right.
Don't distract with champagne popping. Don't distract with telling her about mom. Don't distract with anything. Only the getting ready. Only
And
focus on that.
I think some of, like, Aaliyah's anxiety and the perfectionism comes out when she's, gonna meet his family and, like, wants it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I think, this bothered me. I was on Shawn's side. Like, I don't think I would have thrown a fit, but, like, it is really rude. And this Could you say this is like a cultural thing? Like people said about Mina when Mina was like
Mhm.
4 hours late to the
Yeah.
baptism because she was getting ready. And then people said it's not a big deal in her culture. Like this is just what happens. But again, you're in America with a bunch of American guests who are going to think it's rude. It is over 100 degrees out. Like,
Yeah.
because they had this discussion and she promised. I think that's what bothers me. Like,
And then think about what if it was Greg and Joan and they were literally paying for things in 30-minute chunks,
right, right.
you know? Like, and I think with that's not the case here. Sean's got the money and he's paid for it all night no matter what. But
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think it's more about inconveniencing his friends.
everybody's
And
just sitting there and they were supposed to eat at 6 and now it's almost 7 and we haven't
yeah,
had the wedding, so we haven't
he
gotten
has
to
like an
the
older mom there.
yeah,
He's older too, like
yeah,
much more set in his ways and like also is a stickler for time. I'm kind of a stickler for time in that I say that ironically because I was so late for our recording today.
that's okay.
But
I'm
it,
always
it,
late.
that was an accident. But like it is rude of other people's time if the invite this is just I don't know. I'm always on Aaliyah's side, but here I was on Sean's side.
Yeah, I'm
I
too. I think it's very disrespectful. I think it's very rude. I understand she wants to look perfect, but I think that Jackie's role was to keep this going, and she did, and she failed at her job. I'm not blaming Jackie. I think it's Aaliyah's fault, but Jackie was there to keep it moving along, and she kept
I think,
distracting her.
perhaps Shawn knowing Alliya and how she is and how she's always late, he could have had a third party there, like, hired someone just to be like an assistant that day, like a one of those
Yeah.
Carolyn from Mina Mark and Mina's, she's
Oh,
efficient.
yeah,
She would have gotten the ball rolling because
yeah.
Jackie's not a professional at this to like wrangle a bride, you
No,
know?
no, 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 no. Well, next week on, we get Maddie and Stevie, and Maddie says to Saeed, I asked her if she's bisexual, and she said no. And then Saeed goes, well, you don't have an answer, and I feel a responsibility to your family and culture, so I'm going to ask her myself on the wedding
It's
day.
no. No is the answer. If she keeps saying no, but it's your fault you are not accepting her answer.
In the talking head, Maddie says, since the day he got here, I was worried about him. What if he says something and then I lose Stevie's trust? And then we Saeed going, can I have a word with you before the wedding? And she's like getting her hair and makeup done. And she's like, get out of here, bro.
I would have
Um,
said no. I would have been like, "No, absolutely not.
um,
I'm getting my hair and makeup done."
I would recommend people go and look at Maddie's Instagram because he did this very funny thing. Did you see it? Where it was like
No.
he was trying to learn English. And so they show you like two people, like, what does it mean? Like hand holding. And you say, like, love. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And it was every single picture depicted two men. And it would be like hand holding. And he would say gay. And it would say play. And then he would see two men in the bed together and he'd go, gay. And then it would go, lay. Like every single thing he said was wrong. And then it was like two men kissing with the sunset behind him. And he goes, gay? And it said Ray. Like every single thing was the wrong word, but because it had AY at the end with the first letter
Yeah.
missing. So every
Yeah.
time he would say gay, it would be, so he was like, huh? So finally at the end, they showed um, a picture of Stevie and he goes, oh, babe. And it was like gay. And it was funny. He was like, wait till the end. And it's funny. I was like, okay, they're funny. They're
They're
funny.
making fun of it, how
They're
he
making fun of it. Yeah.
keeps seeing gayness everywhere. Yeah.
He's a gay, but every picture was gay, but he would go,
Yeah, but
"Gay." Yeah,
yeah.
and then it would say, "No, it's this." It was very funny. Okay, so we get some very dramatic, people will be walking to their seats when Joan is walking down the aisle. He's like, "I'm panicking, I'm panicking. She won't trust me. This is a nothing burger."
Yeah.
Um, Sarper finds out she kinda put an air tag on his keychain, and he's like, "The level of mistrust is unbelievable." And she goes,
Didn't he
"Okay."
see it? It looks like it was maybe covered with, like did she sneak it inside of a key thing he already had, a keychain?
It's probably just they have those AirTag keychains. So she's probably like, "Babe, it's just the
That
Turkish
looks like
flag."
something else.
Yeah,
Okay,
mhm,
gotcha.
and he says, "The level of mistrust is unbelievable." And she goes, okay, if we don't get married, you have to go back to Turkey, babe. Is that what you want?" She's got on another set of stupid glasses. Um, Maybe they're the same ones.
I think that
Mark,
those
chases Mina to say, "Are you okay?" And she's crying, and she says, Clayton never believed me, and I promised him he's coming. I was just like, oh, because the whole time he's like, "Are you really bringing me? Are you really bringing me?" She's like, "I promise."
She
And
shouldn't
now
have promised.
I know. And they're all like, "You have to call Clayton. You have to tell him, like, you have to tell him he can't come, but he's coming, but he can't be here for today." And she's saying, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to break his heart." It's upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
The throuple do a stupid photo shoot. They're leaving tomorrow to go very, very far away to San Diego. And Amani says, now the big question remains, who does Ani want to marry, me or Matt? And then we get her going, the person is, and it's like, dun, 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 dun,
It
dun,
was
dun,
seriously
like a
like she
game
was gonna
show.
give someone a rose on The
Yeah.
Bachelor or something.
She's
Like, I didn't
looking,
know they were gonna have her pick. She has to pick.
yeah, because she's lucky to be there. Don't
That's gonna
forget.
cause so many problems. And then we see Amani and she's crying but smiling.
Yeah.
She goes, "I'm sorry." So it's like,
She
what?
gets picked. She
I
gets
think she
picked.
gets picked. Yeah.
Ani's too afraid of her not to pick her. Don't
Yeah,
you think?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
So is
point.
Matt, for that matter.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we see Shawn walking up to where Alliya is getting ready, and she's about to come down the stairs. And Jackie says, "Oh, I'm not supposed to see her." And he goes, "I am so mad." And so Aliyah's like, "Oh," her face just drops. And he's saying, "Maybe I'm not even supposed to be in this relationship. Like, this is crazy." Like he walks up, and was like, "I am so mad." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, good." He's not gonna like dance around it and be cutesy about it, like, "I
No.
told you to be ready." He's like, "I'm really
Yeah.
mad." So
But, like, is he
hopefully,
overreacting?
no,
Maybe a little, but also maybe he's very hot and embarrassed and
yeah, yeah, all of it. He's like, "My mom needs to go to the hospital." Like, I
yeah,
think
that's
probably
true too.
maybe he thought if Aaliyah knows that my mom can't go to the hospital till after the wedding, maybe that'll make it go faster. But instead, it just made it go slower.
Yeah.
You know. But
God.
also maybe he wanted her to know, so if she walked down the aisle and saw Jeannie with her leg up with ice, she wouldn't be
Right.
like, "What happened?" She would.
Right, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
very
God.
curious what your listeners think, like, which team are you on here?
Yeah, I and like I you and I, yeah, we're always team Aaliyah, but in this situation, team Shawn.
Yeah.
Team Shawn. Tell me what's happening over on A Date with Dateline. I know you took a break last week. Are you back this week?
Yes, we are, and we're doing an episode called Secrets of the Sliding Door, which is a repeat, not a
Ooh.
repeat, it's a new episode they did on Sunday night a couple weeks ago.
Okay, Secrets of the Sliding Door.
Yeah.
See, you always gotta check because you say it's always Friday, but this night you're doing a Sunday.
Because Fridays have been repeats. It's been very weird. They put in a new Sunday night episode, but sometimes it's a Sunday night repeat, and sometimes it's a new episode they sneak in there. It's very confusing.
Do you announce this on your Instagram which episode you're gonna cover, or do people
I
just
always
get
promise
surprised
I'm
on
going
Wednesday?
to,
Yeah.
and then I don't. But if people message me, I will always tell them. But I used to, but then no one seemed like there's like 3 people who always want to know. So I was
Or
doing a post, and
me.
then um I didn't feel like people cared, and then I kept forgetting. So I just say, assume it's Friday. But if you watch Friday and it's very, very, very sad, like if you know us well enough, you can go, this is not one they're going to cover.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
wanna tell
child or
you
something. Yeah.
that you 2 did a rewind on your Patreon where I'm a member. It was a rewind from it was 2 weeks ago. I think I wrote under it, like, as a fan, I wrote under it and said, "This is one of the top 5 best episodes you've ever done."
That it was
It
so nice. I
it
saw that.
was so funny. It was an episode I had not watched. I just put it on because, like I said, when I'm not watching Karen Reed, I have to have something else, and it's comfortable to me to listen to y'all, and it wasn't an episode I watched or anything. The episode was about I don't even know what it was about. I really don't even remember, but in that episode, the 2 of you did ads for you were doing fake ads
Oh,
for do you remember what I'm talking about?
no.
Okay, and you just were riffing on it and riffing on it. I was like, I wonder if on Rewind they allow it to just like go off the rails a little bit more than they do on their regular feed.
No, I don't edit the rewinds at all. I just take the ads out, like the real ads, and that's it.
Okay. Okay, well,
So was it Double Date True Nightmares?
I'll never be able to figure it out. You guys, if I figure it out, I'll let you know, because me looking is not gonna help.
Yeah, so
But I
sorry.
did also listen to the Penn in Apartment 210, but I listened to it on the regular feed, I believe. Because I had watched that episode and I knew it was pin, like you drop a pin, and then we could fight about
Yes.
pin, but we're not going
And
to.
several people wrote and said, "I realized I've been saying it that way, and I seriously don't hear a difference." Like, they just don't hear a difference between pen and pin.
I don't either.
Pen, pin. They
Nope.
sound so different to me, but it's a real thing.
I've got to figure out what this episode was. It's really gonna drive me nuts. It was so good. It wasn't Sasquatch County. Was it the
No,
house
'cause
on the
that was
hill?
I don't even see your comment anymore.
House fire, priced horse, son dies in an apartment accident. How can one
No,
man
'cause
be
I
so
just
unlucky?
posted that one.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Anyway, this was not interesting to anybody, but I just highly recommend your Patreon because I died.
Thank you.
So funny.
So, and I recommend yours as well.
Thank you.
Because I love listening to you and Amy and you and Keisha, and
Yeah. So
plus
let me
no ads. It's great.
No ads is always great. So here's what's happening on the show, everybody. I'll just remind you again, next Monday will be this episode. It'll be 90 Day Fiance recap next Monday. Tuesday, Keisha and I are covering The Virgins. It airs Monday night on TLC. It's a brand new show. Keisha and I are going to cover it. The episodes will be out Tuesday. Wednesday, Keisha and I are putting out The Valley on the $10 level of Prime. $5 level of Prime is with Amy, 90 Day Hunt for Love. Do we know why it's called that? No. June 22nd.
But Rob is not doing well on that. Rob is not coming off looking great.
Well, episode 1, he comes off great.
Well, in the preview for episode 2,
I think for the what's going to happen this season, it looks like he fights with people. But
yeah. And the one girl is mad at him. The one girl he was trying to hook up with. He was sending her messages.
She came up to him and was like, within 1 hour, was like, "Will you kiss me?" It was all over. And then she introduced herself to everybody at the resort of, "Hi, nice to meet you. I've been to this resort before. It's the first place I ever did anal." Literally told every person, "Oh, I've been here before. This is the first place I did anal. I love anal. This is Tulum is special to me because it's where I learned to do anal." And Rob's like, "Ooh, now I'm wondering maybe I shouldn't have kissed that girl." Like that was a little quick.
Oh my God.
And she might be a little bit cray cray. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to watch it. You got to watch it.
I'm or just listen to you guys because I don't
just
think
listen
I can
to us.
bear it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the first,
that girl bugs me. God, what's her name?
Stephanie,
not Stephanie.
Courtney.
Yeah.
Kimberly, you will change your mind. She should be on every show. She's so funny.
Really?
She's so funny.
Okay.
It's so funny. There's a part where Colt says that he likes to have sex 5 times a day. Like that would be ideal, but like it doesn't always happen. But 7 times a day is what he says. And Courtney goes, "Who does he have sex with 7 times a day? His computer?" She's hilarious. She's like, "Oh my God, like I dated this guy. I thought I was going to marry him. He'd never been married and didn't have kids. And it turns out he'd been married twice and had 4 kids."
Oh my God.
She's just so wacky.
She is wacky. And she apparently like hooked up with Usman on vacation.
She went to Istanbul.
And then he also slid into
Tiffany's DMs.
God, he's
something. Yeah, it's a good show.
With the 90 Days ladies. Okay.
So last week, episode 1 was 2 hours. Episode 2 is going to be 2 hours, and then it's going to switch to just 1 hour. So the first 2 episodes are going to be long, and then that'll be better for everybody involved. That's it, guys. That's what's going on. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Please leave a 5-star review for all your favorite podcasters, me, Kimberly, Amy, Keisha, anybody that you like. Just leave them a 5-star review. It's a really nice thing to do. Helps everybody. Really okay. Does. And that's it. Everybody follow Katie. What's your name? Katie. Just left me there. Katie and Kimberly at Dateline. Or like my brain short-circuited because I ate 2 of those caffeine drops. So I think it just
I wasn't even going to say any. I was like, should I chip in and help her, or should I just see where this goes?
Yeah,
I just see where this goes?
I took 2 of these Viter Energy caffeine things
Yeah.
that you sent me, and I think, woo!
Woo!
'Cause I just started to sweat a little bit too.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Maybe that was too many.
Oh, no. Anyway, follow Katie and Kimberly at Date Dateline, and please follow me at Pink Shade Pod. I'm gonna go check my blood pressure. Okay, bye.
I'm very concerned now. God, what if I sent you something that gave you a heart attack? Oh, my God.
Okay, bye.